Hello, I wanted to give a breakdown of different aspects of the interface. So one is this aspect of the timeline down here, and it can be movable if you can just drag and drop. It's a really great interface here so that you can give yourself a little bit more room while still being able to access your bin here and your preview screen. So you'll have your timeline here, and that has, as we've talked about, but it has different tracks. It has text, video, and audio, and you'll be able to move up and down, change the track height. You can rename them if you'd like. You can also delete if you need to. You can also add tracks. So over here you can add text and video and audio. You'll be able to move them up and down. Again, if you say, let's add another video text here, video 2. Let's just move that down if we need to so that we have all of our videos together. And what's nice about our timeline here is that they're stacked one on top of the other. So I'm going to do something like add some text real quick so that you can see how that works. Again, it's a drag and drop, but here in our preview screen we can see that it is laid on top of our background. So if we move this down, that's gone now. We don't see the text. So the nice thing about this interface is that it stacks one on top of the other. Now audio is usually at the bottom because that doesn't have any bearing to our visuals. It can just sit there if we need it to. So I'm going to move this back up and then we'll be able to see it again. So let's add a different, I'm going to move this down. We have another video too. Let's put in an image. I'm just gonna take from here. We won't be able to process that, but if we wanted to put a video on top, or a picture or a video on top of our background, we now can see you have the text, we have the picture, and in theory we should be able to resize this image so that you can see the background behind it if you want. And we can get into that with settings, but for the purposes here, what we're seeing is that things are stacked one on top of the other. So I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Again, you can see the time code down there. It's 00, and then 10 seconds and then frames. So we've talked about this in the introductory video, but this is minutes, seconds, and frames per second. So a standard video is going to be around 30 frames per second for a high definition standard widescreen video. And that's what we're going to be using throughout, just as a basis so that you can have something to work with going forward. But let's see here. Let's see, we want to get a little bit more granular in our work, so we can zoom in, and that means that our you can see that these time codes then drill in a little bit more. If we want to go even further, that gives us a little bit more control about how long and how short we want to make things. So let's drag down another image here. We'll see that there is we'll need to click on something in order to move it around. But you can drag and drop things if we want to move them within our timeline here. We'll get into more of this editing features later, but as an overview of what the timeline is, a time code, and how to drag and drop from a very easy kind of functionality for WeVideo, that's the overview.